pleased to join you today for the annual FTTH conference that for the first time in 2 years is happening in person again. Unfortunately, I was not able to come to Vienna, but I hope you will make most out of these 2 days. And this is meeting new colleagues, learn from very expert speakers. Let me start by saying that we are living in very particular times. After more than 2 years of global pandemic, we are confronted today with an unjustified military aggression against one of our neighboring countries. And in both instances, and with differences, we have seen how much digital technologies are essential for working, learning, and accessing basic services. But unfortunately, they are also the terrain of daily cyber warfare. Most importantly, digital technologies have shown the importance of connectivity, bringing people together and keeping us, the economy, ourselves, working independently where you are, and ultimately keeping the society and our way of life safe. High-performing digital infrastructure carry with them a kind of equalizing dimension, because they have the capacity to render information and communication more available to a big part of the population. And I must say, on top of that, they have the potential to give to our union an important competitive added value. If we connect every household with fiber, we can make, for instance, health services available to everyone, advanced health service, and no matter where they are, in a city, in the middle of nowhere, in a remote island. That's why the Commission has set out very concrete targets for our flagship digital strategy, the digital decade. Gigabit connectivity for all European households and 5G for all populated areas. Both targets rely on a massive fiber development. And all the above, of course, depend on an efficient combination of public funding instruments and private investment. The funding gap is still quite big, especially in rural areas. And to help close it, we need to encourage and support investment in 5G and fiber. And our President said, in an unprecedented manner. To date, I'm very pleased to see that more than 13 billion euros have been invested in the recovery fund. And this funding has been approved to support the rollout of digital connectivity networks in the next 3 years, and especially in rural regions. And this includes 5G and 5G corridors in 19 member states. And of course, we invest in connectivity. The EU will also leverage connectivity investment through the new cohesion funds, InvestEU, EIB loans, and of course, equity instruments, and through the CEF digital program. The latter is expected to grant more than 2 billion over 7 years to fund projects which have a cross-border nature. For instance, backbone interconnection, secure and critical digital capacities, global gateways, and as well as the 5G networks in smart communities. The first Connect Europe facility call closed last month, and a second call is in the pipeline for the end of this year. We have other success stories which I would like to share with you. For instance, we have set up the Connecting Europe Broadband Fund. This was launched in 2018 and now is going well beyond the set target of 500 million of equity. And so far we have already reached more than 600 million in capital, and 30% has been raised to deploy state-of-the-art network. And most of these projects are in underserviced areas across the EU. So it's not true that you cannot invest capital in other served areas. We have beautiful fiber projects which are supported by our equity fund. To maximize the impact of public investment, of course, we need a modern regulatory framework, and this is clearly a precondition. We believe that the European Electronic Communication Code, it's really going in this direction and contains a lot of innovation. For instance, the code has put increased focus on efficient infrastructure-based competition. And this is really the sustainable way to deliver long-term benefit, including increased network deployment. What we note is that there's not enough in terms of take-up of the new instruments. There are new provisions in the code that directly address the issue of voluntary cooperation between network providers. And if cooperation really can be effectively deployed, then we will see much more investments. Regulators have not to be shy in deploying these new tools. Companies have to embrace these new tools. Through cooperation, through agreements, we can actually speed up network deployment. It's a new form of cooperation in regulation between regulated parties and regulators that the code very much sponsors, and we would like to see much more than what we have seen so far. When it comes to spectrum, we also tried to deliver a very ambitious regulatory framework with the obligation of member states to make available pioneering band for fixed and mobile 5G. Fixed 5G is really now taking quite some traction in some member states, and we need, of course, the spectrum to be made available. And also, we have established a very light regulatory regime for small cell deployment. That's very important for hybrid forms of 5G and Wi-Fi, and to facilitate network densification, thinking, for instance, at 6G. So far, we have not seen a lot of innovation in this respect, and really, I invite companies to make use of such a simplified regulatory framework. Of course, we will work more and more to make sure that there are no red tapes that impede connectivity. That's why the new Connectivity Infrastructure Act will result in even better fight, if you like, to red tapes. We need to make sure that the new Connectivity Act will replace the Broadband Cost Reduction Directive, and we need to be sure that really fiber can be quickly deployed everywhere. And where there are burdens which result from bureaucracy, this have to go. So that's the purpose of the revised Broadband Cost Reduction Directive, and I hope this will be an even more effective tool to fight unnecessary bureaucracy when it comes to fiber and telecom infrastructure deployment. I cannot finish my intervention without saying some words which really come out of my heart. With the outbreak of the war, the entire digital ecosystem has significantly redirected its effort to support Ukrainian refugees. And I really thank you for this. The Commission has been working closely with EU telecoms operator and their association to serve Ukrainian telecom equipment and service needs. And this really in a coordinated way. We have paid particular attention to the connectivity needs of Ukrainian refugees to keep Ukrainian infrastructure up and running. And I really welcome the joint statement signed on the 8th of April, both by EU and Ukrainian operators, which is a testament of great effort by both sides. And that's why the Commission wants to go further and explore with you and other stakeholders the possibility to launch a broad donation initiative. We're really targeting the tech industry and try to get concrete commitment other commitment in support of Ukraine and the Ukrainian people. So thank you for the support you have shown so far, and we count on you for the future. Thanks very much.